It's wild. He has 2 other offers. It's kind of turning him off really, really bad. I'm not going to work with you again. He wants to move forward to an offer. Let's freaking go. Happy Monday morning and welcome back to another week in life, what I do as a recruiter in the technology industry at my own agency. The purpose of this video is just to take you along for the ride and just show you what we do behind the scenes, all the ups, all the downs, all the crazy, stressful situations that we find ourselves into. It is the first week or the last week of August, the first week of September, and so many things are going on right now and a lot of updates to catch you up on. One quick announcement. So we noticed that a bunch of you watching are not subscribed. So if you love this content, again, it would just mean a lot and mean the world, as a lot of effort goes into these while I'm also working at the same time. So if you enjoy these videos, want to see more like it, feel free to like, subscribe, hit that bell. It would be super cool, but enough of me talking, let's get back to work. All right, so a couple crazy announcements. So last week, I didn't shoot a week in life because I actually took the week off, which is great. Vacation has always been really tough for me to do because like if you're working for yourself, things are always go, and when you're taking vacations, it's just so hard to turn off. But you know, I made the effort to actually go up north with my fam, and we just had a great time recharging, relaxing. I wasn't totally off. I probably worked about 1 to 3 hours each morning, but it was considerably a lot less than what I do every single day. But during that week, as you've seen from the previous week in the lives, you know that I'm working with an aviation tech company that is working closely with us about a product director role. Now, this is something that we've been working on for so long. They're very particular. They're very picky. We've been kind of doing our best to send them a steady stream of really great talent every single week. And then I knew that we had one that they really liked. I was going through process. And then I just heard from late last week that not only did they offer a position to one, but they also ended up liking another candidate we sent so much that they ended up extending an offer to another one while I was on vacation, and they did not let me know at all. So this is absolutely crazy. And the funny thing is, while I was on vacation and trying to also sync up with both the candidates, a couple days later I heard from my client that both the candidates accepted. It's wild. It's absolutely insane. It's not only did I do one product director, but they loved my candidates so much they wanted to hire 2. And putting those together, that's making this beginning of September potentially a freaking amazing month. The first product director salary was $140, the second is $200. The second update is that if you've been following from the last week's episode, I'm working with an early stage client. Unfortunately, we're trying to work closely with them to help find a head of engineering. We got so close, an offer went out, but then ultimately the candidate accepted another offer because it was just way too much money. Like he just couldn't say no. It was too good to be true. He had a $225 salary plus a 20% sign-on plus a 20% annual bonus. Plus 1.5% equity, while my client only offered $200 with 1.5%. Now, as sad as it was, this got a little messy because like my candidate told my client that if my client was able to come up on the equity from 1.5 to 2, which they did, he said he would accept. My client then sent out an offer letter. My candidate responded a couple of days later saying, it's good, I'll send it back to a week. And then he followed up with me a couple of days later saying, hey, I have another offer at $225 plus all of this. I went back to my client. My client got so angry. He's like, the candidate basically told me that he would accept the offer, and now he's coming back and leveraging the other offer to negotiate more. And I'm like, hey, like I know, I get it. It's not ideal, but this happens in this crazy competitive market, and you just have to put your best foot forward, see what we can do. Can you come up? Can you do a sign-on bonus? And the answer was no. We are standing firm. We're not going to do anything else. A little bit disappointed about this fact, and it'll be interesting to see if he would accept the job with us with an offer that offers him more money. And so like that was the latest response from my client. And then coming in to this morning, we heard that my candidate has officially accepted and is not changing his mind with this other offer. So again, not very good situation to be in. My client was super bullish and excited about the whole process and ended up being quite disappointed. But the silver lining is kind of like the product director, is we obviously do our best to send a steady stream of candidates every single week. And so even though this didn't work out, I knew that my client was possibly interested in another candidate of mine as a plan B. And so because this happened, and because it turned my client's mind sour to my initial candidate, he's now focusing on this plan B. They're actually talking sometime today. And if it works out, I mean, this could be huge. Another $200,000 salary, potentially make September my biggest month yet. So it'd be absolutely incredible to start September off with 2 product directors and 1 head of engineering role. It's just absolutely crazy. And so gonna be focused on that. We potentially have another software engineer in final rounds. We're picking up a new client in about 5 minutes from now. We're also, I think current client needs more software engineers. So a lot is going on in September, and I just came back from vacation, scrambling right now. Things are absolutely crazy, but still very grateful and humble that we're able to work with amazing companies and founders who are continuing to grow in this turbulent, uncertain market that we're in. And the good news is I was able to do a good amount of resting throughout the week, and so I feel good energy-wise, feel focused to attack the day and make things happen. So even though like the head of engineering candidate was a step back, I still feel like we did 3-4 steps forward, and having some good news all around. And yeah, just want to pop more deals. So let's keep it going. Happy Monday afternoon. A couple updates. We just heard that one of our software engineers for a hospitality tech client is going through references. Everything looks great. As a matter of fact, they just sent him an email, CC'd me, asking him when my candidate can chat on the phone, which is obviously a fantastic sign. So I'm hoping they can maybe extend an offer. It seemed like they should be done or should have finished references by this morning. So fingers crossed. I'm actually syncing up with the same candidate in about 30 minutes just to get a final touch to see what's going on, how everything is going. Hopefully there's no real red flags. I'll keep you updated. Sending out a couple invoices. One of my candidates started today. Yes, super excited. So sending out invoices to make sure we get paid. And then should be syncing up with my client from my healthcare tech company who is hiring for a head of engineering. He just met his candidate today, and I think he's also wanting our help with UX product designers. So we'll keep you updated with everything going on right now. Lots of stuff. I still have like 10 other candidate calls. It's not even 1 o'clock yet. So still feeling good, but let's keep pushing. Okay, so I actually just got off the phone with the healthcare tech client, and he just synced up with my candidate. It seemed to have gone really well. He wants to move forward to an offer. Let's freaking go! But he doesn't want to move forward until I sync up with my candidate to really just understand exactly where my candidate stands on comp and equity expectations and any other red flags that might be outstanding. And so I need to kind of get to the bottom of that as soon as possible, and then relay that to my client. If my client feels good about that, then he will reach out and extend directly. My client also needs our help with a UX product designer. So if anyone out there knows any great UX product designers, at least maybe 2 to 5 years of experience, ideally in New York City, that has great marketplace or consumer facing experience, that would be a huge plus. Salary, haven't confirmed yet, but they probably can go up to maybe 150, 160, 150 to 170 plus equity. So if you're out there, or you know someone, reach out to me. If you're a recruiter who knows someone, reach out to me and let's make it happen. But I'm gonna pick that up officially tomorrow. Oh my God, I just have back-to-back candidate calls right now and I have so much to do, so we'll see what happens. Whoa. My hospitality client is reaching out to my candidate to have a chat with them, and it's seeming like they are going to move forward to extend an offer. So I still pinged my candidate, haven't got a chance to talk with him. I think he's gonna talk with the client before talking to me, which is not ideal. But we'll see how it goes. We just gotta pray that it goes really well. Now, the one thing that I forgot to mention about this is that the client asked me if this offer happens, if he can split up the payment terms instead of 1 payment to 3 across 90 days. And usually I'm like, no. And that's actually what I said to him, like, no, because here's the context. We actually worked with him before. We did a couple placements in the past, and he's always so long, the founder, in terms of getting us paid. Like, we had to follow up with him for days, weeks, and then most recently months. And I'm like, hey, we had a really bad experience working with you. This is like not acceptable. We have to make sure like everyone gets paid and we get paid out expediently. Like, a lot of this is very hard work and you can't pay us like a couple months. It's just, it doesn't work for us. And so like when he first reached out to me and saying, hey, can you help us with this position? I'm like, hey, can you just make sure like this does not happen again? And if we do place someone, that you can pay us within 30 days, which is our typical payable window. And he said yes. And now he's like, oh, I need to split the payments in 3. And I'm like, we talked about this before, you agreed. And then he's like, look, like we're a small company, we're looking to raise funds in October. Bottom line is we can't afford to hire this guy without a payment plan. So when I heard that, I'm like, red flag, like why is he even utilizing a service like us? Because we're not the cheapest service out there, because we're really, really good. We know what we can offer. We're a premium service out there. So I'm like, why are you even engaging us if you can't even afford it? And I'm like, this is a fiasco, because he didn't really disclose that to us. And you know, we did a bunch of positions. I think we did almost about 10 over the years. And typically it's, you know, the funding and capital was never an issue. I just never knew that they are at that point where they can't even afford my candidates. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, can we at least do 2? Maybe pay me 2/3 up front in 30 days and maybe 1/3 on 60. He's like, look, we cannot hire him with our current capital and with our current kind of expenses that we're burning every single month. So either like we try to hire him, we agree to some sort of fee structure, timetable, or we don't hire him at all. And so for me, I'm like, obviously this is just ridiculously complicated than it should be on multiple fronts. Like number one, him and I just discussing how it gets paid does the candidate no service. Like I want make sure the candidate has a good experience. If our candidate goes through the process, gets a final, and then they're like, oh wait, we can't afford you, like that's gonna be a horrible experience for my candidate. So obviously, like I want this to go through. And of course, for me, selfishly, of course, I want this to go through so we can get paid. But I'm like, how do we prevent a situation from the last time happening again? So he's like, okay, if we hire him successfully, then we will confirm 3 separate dates with our accounts payable platform that they're using so that payments will not be delayed. And again, this is just like me trusting his word. Situations like this would never have come with new clients. Like I would have I would have done my homework and due diligence and making sure like we know that they can afford to pay us our service, and that situations like this don't happen, so don't waste any time. So moving forward, I'm only going to be open and willing, obviously for the sake of the candidate, but of course, like if this does not work out and this 3 days is going to be a huge 3-month plan is going to be a huge inconvenience, then I will have to be crystal clear, really put our feet down and say, hey, we can't work with you if this keeps happening over and over again, because we are working with so many other companies who are willing to pay us sooner than 30 days, and they're always prompt. And they're always respectful. So I'm like, this is just not ideal, not that respectful and with everyone's time, most important to the candidate's time. So I'm like, can we please just not do this? But I think it came to a situation where the only scenario is not happen or happen, and if it happens, split up in 3 months. So we're just gonna go with it and see what we can do, and we'll do whatever we can to get this position closed. I mean, I haven't even touched base with my candidate, so I don't know 100% if he's really actually interested about this position. So I just need to kind of start the closing process, manage that, agree unwillingly to this 3-month plan. And then if it happens again, like, no, I'm not going to work with you again. I have the opportunity and grateful situation to be working with other amazing companies who don't put us through these silly situations. So when you're working with difficult clients, you want to advocate for yourself. The only reason why I put myself sometimes in this situation is like if I have personal history with them, or we've just done a lot of placements, we have just a great kind of overall positive working relationship. So that's kind of where we are right now. Not ideal. I need to sync up with the candidate and see how he feels, and hopefully we can kind of go from there. Okay, so I finally synced up with my candidate. He is talking to the founder of my client company 6 p.m. today, but he told me he's very excited about my client. He ranks my client number 1. He has 2 other offers that he needs to consider, which is definitely not the best news ever. But he did tell me that he told my client, the head of engineering, and they just had a very transparent talk that if they can offer him 160 or higher, there's a strong chance my candidate can just shut everything down and accept on the spot. Why? My client has better work-life balance, and my client also has a better product, more intriguing and challenging mentally to my candidate, that makes the most sense for him in terms of his next step, which is awesome. So there's a lot of different things that we can really focus in on and leverage when it comes to negotiations and making it happen. He overall sounded pretty positive. Like his tone was good, his energy was good, and he was very much eager to connect with the founder later today in a couple hours. So I'm just gonna email and text my founder directly with all this information. I think that if he can just hit 160 or go higher, they will have a really strong chance of just shutting this down for good, which would be amazing. And that could potentially be a deal this Monday. So wow, like this day has been honestly going by so fast. It's not even 4 p.m. just finished talking to about 6 different candidates today, got 3 more later today, and it's been all around a really, really good day so far. So I'm going to focus on this, a bunch more sourcing to do, really focus on product designers, managers, and software engineers. And then, yeah, going to also sync up with a recruiter who reached out to me, interested in partnering up with us with splits. So if you are watching this and you're a recruiter and you have a great network, you have clients that are hiring, you have candidates that you want to place to more opportunities, like definitely reach out to me. I'm more than happy to always help and collaborate and partner with other great recruiters around the world. Happy Tuesday morning, and boy, is it eventful so far. So we are talking about the head of engineering candidate for my early stage client. My client wanted me to touch base with my candidate before he moved to an offer. I just talked to the candidate this morning, and it's full of surprises. Number one, he's so excited, which is great, but he's a little bit too concerned of how small it is. Like, he's like, in an ideal scenario, he would love to join a team where he could manage a team of 4 to 5 instead of like being the sole engineer with no other engineers on there. And he's coming from a bigger company where he's managing 2 teams of 10, so 20 engineers. And that kind of seeming like no matter how hard I tried and asked questions, like one of his biggest obstacles, it seems like all the other smaller obstacles he had, he did a great job in directly addressing it with the founder. And then I'm like, well, it's got to a point where he thinks that like this might be a deal breaker and he might have to kind of pause and wait for other opportunities, and that really wasn't the best for me to hear. But you know, he did say that like when it comes to the salary and equity, he's ideally looking for 250, maybe a little bit more, because he just shared with me that recently he's got a retention bonus at his current job plus significant equity. And I dug around, played some hypotheticals with them. I'm like, hey, if the founder is able to move forward to an offer, which is not guaranteed, but is able to hit your salary and equity, like would that be something that would help you strongly consider? And he's like, yes. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. You just told me that because of this first obstacle, it was a deal breaker. But he's like, well, that's what the assumption that, you know, they may not even be able to hit my equity and salary expectations. So I'm like, okay, what if they're able to hit that and maybe do more, do better? I have no idea. Like, would that help you to strongly consider this opportunity with my founder? He said yes. I do also want a slight asterisk that he is a little bit hard to read. He's kind of, you know, monotone. He's like very, very calm in terms of my candidate. So I can't really just tell from tone alone how actually excited he is. But he did say that he would strongly consider it. He's now excited to hear from next steps, and that would help him strongly consider an offer. So a lot of mixed signals here. I'm not exactly sure, because he did say like he's not 100% sure that this is the right opportunity in the beginning, but then now he ended the conversation saying he's excited. Not sure what to do here, but I now have to sync up with my client and see like what he thinks. Now, how we lost the previous candidate for head of engineering is I thought my client could have come higher. My candidate, for a variety of reasons, you watched the last video if you haven't, wanted now sell at 225 plus a bonus. And my client was, for his reasons alone, and again, for more context, like watch the previous video, but basically he was a little bit turned off by my candidate coming to negotiate after he told my client he's gonna accept the offer, which is totally understandable. But my client stayed at 200. So if this new candidate is looking for 250, I don't even know if my client can hit that. So we'll see. I thought my, before kind of 2020, or before I guess the recession, my client was a lot more aggressive in terms of offering things or modifying offer terms to get candidates. But I think they're just being cautious and tightening up the purse strings a little bit because of the state of the economy, and it's totally understandable. But we weren't able to close the previous candidate because of just financials. And so I think this is, again, going to be a financial situation. But even if my client is able to reach what my candidate's looking for, there's still no guarantee as well. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, I will keep you updated. Gonna sync up with my client ASAP. Oh my God, so I just spoke with my client, and he said that he might not want to move forward with my candidate because he's kind of disappointed that my candidate's bringing up this concern right now, because it should have been addressed and should not have been lingering this late in process. Like he said, he made it very clear to the candidate, we don't have a dev team. Everything that we've done was completely outsourced. You'll be the first one, and you need to be okay with that. And so from my client founder's perspective, the fact that my candidate continues to have this hesitancy could be a deal breaker, which is not the words that I want to hear. I thought this conversation was going entirely different. So it got to a point where my client was like, hey, I might need to think about it. I need to get back to him. But I'm like, look, at least talk to my candidate, because because he's such a senior level candidate, you want to just handle this really well. Don't end it abruptly. Don't end it with the email. Talk to him. And if you talk to him, maybe you can just understand that it's not a true deal breaker. He just has concerns. And I think any candidate would, at the end of the day, joining any early stage company. I'm trying to balance it out with like where the candidate's coming from, but my client being a little bit kind of emotional, kind of reactive acting towards this. Like, I get it. Like, you're a founder of a small company. You want someone to join, be all hands on deck, like in the trenches, like all in, like let's build, let's go to war together. And so the fact that like he's just about to think of extending an offer and he's like, wow, this is his concern. Like, I made it crystal clear multiple times, like this is our company. Like, it's kind of turning him off really, really bad. So I'm gonna try to keep it alive. I know that they both communicate really well, so at least putting them together on a phone call, we'll see what happens. If not, we're back to the drawing board. At least we have another maybe one or two candidates that he still wants to talk to. Might have to start a brand new search here. But if this doesn't work, we can obviously try to do our best to find our candidates additional jobs with other companies who want to hire someone like him. I think from my client's perspective, like, he didn't want to really stretch for someone, and especially offering a lot of salary or equity for someone who's just not completely all in at this stage. Building a small company, you need someone completely all in. If something's off, especially like he's gonna be a head of engineering, like he's gonna be working hand in hand, maybe become a CTO with the founder. The founder needs to be crystal clear on the someone's passion, loyalty, energy, and just make sure there's like no concerns, because like joining an early stage company, yes, it's risky, but like you need everyone to be completely on board, not someone joining with already one foot out the door. So I will continue to do my best to fight for my candidate, but my candidate, honestly, it was hard for me to read. I don't know if he was being completely transparent with me. I'm just doing my best, but I think a good action to do here is to basically just connect them together and see like what could happen. And if not, we just have to keep moving forward and try to open up more doors for our candidate, because he's amazing. So if anyone's looking for a great head, director, VP of engineering, please let me know, because yeah, this guy, if my candidate doesn't work out, he's going to be an amazing candidate. So we'll see what happens. Happy Tuesday afternoon, and I'm absolutely exhausted. Just finished a podcast with an amazing recruiter who worked at both in-house and the agency lifestyle. Talked to a bunch of candidates today, and I'm still waiting for the progress of the offer for my software engineer for my hospitality tech client. I literally, as I'm filming this, just heard back from my client right now. He's sending out the offer today. I don't know when. My candidate has multiple offers, but he is placing my client as number one. So we'll see what happens. But overall, it's been a pretty good day so far. Synced up with one of our favorite HR tech clients, and they're just opening up 5 to 6 different engineers. They're going to be hitting that hard the rest of the week, and then also making progress with product designers, other engineers, gaming, and even kind of UX designers across the board. So things are slowly moving. It's got a jam-packed day tomorrow and a jam-packed day on Thursday. So fingers crossed, and just got to keep positive and got to keep moving forward. Happy Wednesday. Oh my God, what a crazy day so far. So the quick update is not a good one. Our backup head of engineering candidate spoke with the founder today about 2 hours ago. Just heard back from the founder, and he said that the candidate is a no-go. The concern that the candidate has is honestly a deal breaker for my client, no matter how hard he tried to reconsider and think through it over the past night. The candidate has known and should have known that they're very early stage and there are no engineers. So the fact that he's bringing up a concern that he wants to join a team 5-6 engineers on board already before he joins is silly in terms of my founder's perspective, because he told me the candidate was well aware of this the whole time. So I don't know why he's bringing this up. So I think from that alone, could sound harsh, but my founders decided to pass on him officially. Doesn't even want to reconsider him. So we have to do our best to try to find another home for our candidate, but we're starting this search from scratch. Not completely from scratch. We still have possible plan C, plan D sending over. So going to be targeting a lot more folks today regarding that. We're looking for someone who has management experience, willing to roll up their sleeves on the software engineering front, working at great tech companies that went through fast growth. If they've worked through marketplace companies, B2B2C, B2C, that would be ideal. Any healthcare, digital health background would be ideal too. So if you know of anyone, just please let me know as well. But not the right news I want to hear, but we just talked to a brand new client and gonna lock him in on our podcast. And if you haven't checked out our podcast, please check it out. It's called the Kickstart Podcast. It's a brand new YouTube channel. So pause this, open up YouTube, go there, subscribe, link, bell. We're talking to some amazing founders and professionals that are just super kind and generous and sharing a lot of the exciting nuggets and advice that they've used to have amazing careers, whether you're recruiting or not. So please, please, please make sure you check that out. And then I'm talking to 3 more candidates today, going to continue to focus second half of the day. We got a brand new client that I spoke with a couple of days ago that just signed an agreement. We are good to go. Looking for front-end React or back-end Python Django, fully remote engineers, ideally with startup experience. Fintech would be a plus. So if you know of anyone that might fit that bill, they're willing to pay for the right person. So please send that over. Please reach out to me, DM me. And then I have one podcast with another amazing founder later today. So things are happening. And yeah, considering it's almost 3 and I had no lunch and didn't have any lunch yesterday, just the life of a recruiter, just gotta keep on going. So gotta talk to someone in about 2 minutes, gotta prep for that. And then we're gonna keep on going. But so far, so good. Fingers crossed. Happy Thursday afternoon, and we got some news here. Just been honestly sitting down at my desk for just hours and hours and hours, sourcing and talking to some amazing candidates. But we do have a pending offer with a hospitality tech client, as I was talking about yesterday. Basically, the candidate was waiting from the founder for the official offer, and he has 2 other offers, and I'm trying my best to work very closely with the candidate to kind of hold those off as much as possible because I know that he really likes my client. So lo and behold, I heard back from my client today, an offer came out, my candidate wanted 160, and my client came out and told them 160. So last I heard from my candidate, he said to me this morning that he is trying to negotiate start date, and then he is waiting for the official offer letter for him to review and sign. You know, I try to get him on the phone. I'm like, how do you feel? He feels awesome. He's like, I don't think there's anything else that I need your help with, which is obviously great to hear on my end. But at the same time, I know a lot of things can go awry at this stage. So it's very important to remain communicative and just have a really good relationship as we kind of progress into the offer and hopefully the closing phase. So I'm really, really happy that my client is respecting the 160 and moving forward with that. My candidate did tell me, just to reiterate again, that if my client was able to come out 160, there's like a very strong, like 95+% chance that he would accept, which is amazing. So I'm not gonna celebrate until this is signed, sealed, delivered, and closed. But man, it's always great to kind of be working on another potential offer and making it happen. On another note, I had a pleasure of partnering with another great recruiter who also reached out to me. And if you're a recruiter, and whether in-house or agency, and you want to partner, you want to make more side income, you want to just collaborate, reach out to me. This is honestly what I love doing and why I just keep putting myself out there. I love meeting other professionals in our space, but if there's ways that we can work together and help each other out, I mean, that's amazing. And I think that's really what kind of gets me excited. But he reached out to me, and he also is a much younger guy from actually the greater New York area, and he had his same start the guy did at the agency world, and then worked at agency for I think a year, and then he decided to kind of leave. And then when I asked him why, he was kind of sharing with me a little bit more about the details about the comp and how he was paid. Man, I thought I knew some agencies that paid badly, but this poor guy, wow, like if I was in his shoes, I would have left like much sooner. But yeah, so agencies, make sure you do your best to pay people fairly. Of course, a lot of agencies, start off with low salaries, but of course, a lot of the compensation is tied to performance. And if you perform really, really well, your income can start from here and go literally through the roof. But this guy's awesome. He reached out to me and he's like, hey, I have a client or two. I want some of my candidates to get more job opportunities. I want to work with you. And then as an example, I'm like, hey, I think that sounds great. I'm getting actually a lot of requests from people doing this, but this is what I'm looking for. Just here's the sample criteria and show me some candidates. And the candidates he sent me were some of the best I've seen like to date of people reaching out to me and wanting to do splits or partnerships with me. Like this guy knows the tech world really well. Every single person that he sent, I would say 95% of the people he sent were just boom, right on the dot, specific language experience, company experience, which is phenomenal. So when I see that, I'm like, yeah, let's definitely chat. We agreed on our terms, and he's sending candidates over. The candidates he's sending over are just amazing. And as a matter of fact, he just sent one over right now, and she technology is awesome, and I think should be a perfect fit for many companies of our clients. So it just goes to show that, again, like if you are reaching out to me, if you have reached out to me, please do. And if you have clients and you need help filling the roles with, let's work together. If you have candidates and you're struggling to get them more, present to them more positions, let's work together. If you are a recruiter and you just have a bunch of questions, let's work together. I'm happy to help as much as possible. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, just, another great relationship, another great partnership started. And that is what gets me up in the morning and just to kind of attack the day. So let's keep it going. And don't forget, reach out to me if you want to work together with me. Really interesting news. So I actually just finished my first consulting call, which I've never done before. And it was with someone who was starting his recruiting business. And we had a great hour call, and I just did my best to provide as much value to helping him start his business, find his first clients, and helping him just continue to crush it along the way. This does not mean I'm officially offering coaching or a consulting service, but it's definitely something that I could be doing or thinking of doing a lot more, or maybe a little bit more with the limited free time I have in my schedule moving forward. So if you're watching and you have more than just simple questions and you have a bunch of deep questions, whether it's about candidates or clients or putting it together or anything business related or starting a business, running and operating a business, and you want to pick my brain, just chat for 30 minutes or an hour, please definitely reach out to me. Hit me up on Discord or Instagram or even on LinkedIn, and more than happy to kind of help you out as much as possible. But it's just so cool to be able to meet other people who are looking to do the same thing, and just want to be able to share all the ups and downs, all the lessons that I've learned, so that this person can hit the ground running, ramp up as fast as possible, and avoid a lot of the pitfalls and mistakes a lot of people would do running their own recruiting business without actual recruiting background or experience. So again, if you're watching this and thinking about working for yourself, I think that's great. My biggest suggestion is always just go and just try to find a recruiting job first. You might end up hating recruiting, who knows? You might end up loving it and you want to stay at a job. I think staying at a job for at least 2-3+ years will give you a really good handle of recruiting, and whether or not you want to, pursue that, and then to decide to kind of bet against yourself and go out and be an independent recruiter one day to kind of build your own agency, then 100% do that. For those that are like, I'm very entrepreneurial, just want to go in and muscle my way forward and cold turkey it, yeah, that's definitely a way to start your business too, but the risk is significantly higher, and in difficult moments and ramping up is a lot more filled with struggling and challenging moments too. So again, if that's something that might be open to you, definitely reach out to me. I think I did my best to give as much value as possible, and if you're watching this, you know who you are. I definitely appreciate you reaching out, and I want to celebrate your success. So if you guys are open or excited to work with me more one-on-one with the limited time I have every single week, please reach out. But overall, it's been a great day so far. It's been a great week. Got a half day tomorrow because it is a holiday weekend, and yeah, no closed offers yet. Hoping to kind of get some news soon. So got a couple things to finish up right now. Gonna get some dinner, and we'll see you soon. All right, happy Friday. It is coming to an end of another week. We are still in limbo with the potential offer of my hospitality client. The founder just notified me that he has to deal with a personal family emergency, so he wouldn't be able to finalize everything with my candidate till next Tuesday because we're coming into a long weekend. The issue is my candidate has 2 other offers that he's trying his best to push back. He does rank my candidate as his #1 choice. My founder did talk to the candidate yesterday, verbally went over the terms, and he was able to hit 160, sent a draft of the agreement to my candidate to review, and then he cannot send an official offer letter till Tuesday. I think that should still be okay, but a small part of me is worried because we're giving extra time for my candidates to continue to get pressure from other companies that already have extended official offers. So it's up to me to really do my best to kind of keep him warm as much as possible, and to try to ping my client to see if he can extend and send out an offer to my candidate as fast as possible. At this point, I'm only thinking and worried about my candidate experience. So far, everything has gone well. He got the offer, he got the salary he wants, having a good relationship with him. So it's really up to me to kind of keep him warm, keep him engaged, and hopefully have him be willing and open to wait till Tuesday. Even though it's a long weekend, I think that's going to play into our favor, and I just have to double check with my candidate if he has to make a decision today. I hope not, but we will kind of keep you updated there. Aside from that, we have about 2 interviews happening today, which is great. A lot of people actually aren't working today, but I'm still going to be working a good chunk of the day because, as you know, I love to end the week strong, and when people especially are taking off the gas for holidays, I like to go into the weekend full throttle so that we can obviously make that extra effort to establish and maintain momentum for next week. Aside from that, again, had a wonderful coaching call, my first coaching call yesterday. If this is something that you might be interested in, definitely reach out to me. I can only do maybe a few spots per week, if anything. So I'll be talking about this probably a little bit more later, but it just was such a wonderful experience, and I hope I was able to help this individual just optimize and strengthen his business development lead generation for his agency up and coming that specializes in the sales. So really excited for him to crush it, and yeah, really excited to also look forward to the long weekend where I can relax and chill a little bit. On another note, we were also able to get an official agreement signed with another client. He's looking for software engineers and product designers in the New York area. So for software engineers, front-end based, looking for anyone with React, Vue, TypeScript would be a plus, any or a combination of all of the above. For product design, really looking for like a senior lead designer, ideally consumer-facing products with at least maybe 4 to 6 years of experience, and he's willing to pay like over 200. So if you are a product designer, you know of other product designers, or you're a recruiter and you're specialized in product design, definitely reach out to me. We'd love to kind of work with you guys in any way that we can. So let's see what happens, and we'll keep it going. I think other than that, we do have a lot of other good engineers that are moving forward to the first round yesterday and today. So things are moving forward and the pipelines are active and chugging along. So let's keep it going and end this week off strong. All right, a little quick update here. I was able to hear back from my client. So he's dealing with some sort of like personal family crisis, but he did say that he also wants to empathize in my candidate's perspective, and he understands timing is of the essence. So he will do his best to try to get back to my candidate sometime today, hoping to wrap this up. But unfortunately, I don't think that we'll be able to see a resolution of this until probably later this evening or over the weekend. And if there's an update, I will let you know. But it's been a good Friday so far. And I just want to use this as another opportunity to say thank you again for watching. It really, really means a lot. Obviously, if you're watching this, the whole point again is to just show what recruiters do behind the scenes in case that you're curious. And I try to highlight all the wins, I try to highlight all the losses, and just the consistent work that we do behind the scenes to just build pipelines for companies and just drive results. That's what we do time and time again, and whatever I do today is what I've done 8 years ago, and not much has changed. But if you enjoyed this video, want to see more like it, and you're excited to crush September, October, November, December, please feel free to support a fellow recruiter and give us a like, subscribe, a big bell. It really means a lot. A lot of work do go into these videos, as obviously I'm a full-time recruiter and shooting these on the side for you all. So if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. If you are a recruiter and you have clients and you're struggling to fill them, or you have candidates and you want to present them more opportunities, please reach out to me. Or if you're someone that is just very active in technology and you have a great network, please reach out to me too. There's so many ways that we can collab, partner, and work together behind the scenes. Don't forget to also join our free Discord channel below. It's just a great place to surround yourself with like-minded individuals where you can reach out to me, collab, and work with other recruiters all around the world. Don't forget to also check out our brand new podcast. It's at a brand new YouTube channel called the Kickstart Podcast. Make sure you go there, like, subscribe, click that bell. We'll be talking to some pretty amazing people who are able to share some really insightful nuggets where you guys can be inspired from, learn from, and hopefully just utilize it to do better and crush your careers. And again, if there's any other things that you want to see related to recruiting, please comment down below, hit me up on LinkedIn or in Instagram. I definitely do my best to get back to you all. But it's just been a great beginning of September. As you saw from the last video, we were able to close not 1 product directors, but 2 product directors, possibly make September a really giant and awesome month for us. And again, I'm super grateful. Do my best to never take anything for granted, and whatever happens, whether it's good or bad, just learn from it and try to do the best that you can. That's all we're here to do, and focus on the candidate experience and making sure like that is as best as that you possibly can. So I'm in no way perfect. I'm always trying to better myself every single day. So it's also really great and inspirational for me to hear from other recruiters that have been doing this a lot longer than I have, filled with great other perspectives and other advice. And I really, really, really mean a lot when you do that. So I hope all of you had a wonderful summer. I really do, that you're rested, you're safe, your family's doing well. Let's focus on doing the best that we can into the fall, into Q4, and just continue to provide as much value to our candidates, clients, to the teams that we're on, and elevate recruiting together. So we'll see you on the next one.